I'm doing great, Jermaine. Welcome to the Real Estate Corner. My name is Shad Bogany. I'm here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15 talking real estate. We've got a great guest in the studio with us. We've got Marla Lewis. Marla owns a real estate company called Entourage Real Estate. And I wanted to give her the professional courtesy. She invited me onto her show a while back, and I told her that we would have her come and do our show. She's a real estate broker and run a company down in the Clear Lake area. And, you know, I'm always giving you my perspective on real estate. And I thought maybe we mix it up a bit and hear somebody else's perspective on real estate. The numbers here are 281-837-2222. If you're driving home, you keep it on KWW 1360 AM, and you can listen to us at 96.9 FM. So we simulcast on FM 96.9, or you can go to the kwwj.org, listen streaming audio anywhere in the world. You can catch our show. The numbers here to call in tonight is 281-837-2222. There are a lot of things going on in the real estate market right now, and I just wanted to be able to give an opportunity to talk with you tonight and tell you what I'm seeing, and then we're going to bring in our guest, Marla Lewis. I don't know why I want to say Marla Gibbs. I guess I'm thinking good time. So numbers again are the Jeffersons, 281-837-2222. My name is Shad Bogany, and we've been on the air now 29 years. So if you're tuning in and you thought you were going to hear some gospel tonight, you will, gospel of real estate. And we're here for the next hour to inform you, help you, answer all questions, tell you what's going on in the real estate industry. The numbers again, 281-837-2222. Let's move right into our real estate notes. Guys, interest rates are still low right now. They're almost getting lower than they was when President Obama was in the office. And I don't know if long term that's a good thing, but I know right now, if you're saving money, you might want to buy some real estate because you're going to get a better return on your money than you will having that money in the bank. The other thing I'd like to talk a little bit about is in real estate notes. I was listening to Joe Madison this morning, and I heard some disturbing news that for the city of Pittsburgh is the worst city for black people to live in. And Pittsburgh's a beautiful city, but what he talked about is job segregation, that if you got degrees in Pittsburgh and you black, it's hard to get a job. If you're looking for cleaning jobs and stuff like that, they got plenty of work for you. The other thing was the birth rate. And Pittsburgh's supposed to have this great medical center, but the birth rate is 6 times lower. When I say birth rate, the death rate for infants are higher in Pittsburgh than most cities. Thought that was kind of interesting on that end. And so if you're thinking about, if you're a millennium and you think about relocating to Pittsburgh, I don't know if that's a good idea based on what Joe Madison talked about. And then they had several people call in and show and give information that they live there. And it's the truth. So quite interesting. If you have some topics you want to talk about that a little bit tonight, feel free to give us a call. Other things, FHA has had some rule changes. I was sitting with a loan officer the other day, and I'm thinking I'm on top of everything all the time, but obviously I've been sleeping. FHA has just changed the rules on MIP. I've told you on this show many times that the MIP on FHA stays for the entire 30 years. They now will remove MIP after 12 years. It's a new change. Other thing, the condo rules have changed. I'm going to probably in another show get a little bit deeper in it, but if you're looking to buy a condo, you can do a spot check. In the past, if the condos were not FHA approved or VA approved, it was hard to get a loan, or you paid a little bit higher interest rate, or you had to put more money down. Now, FHA will spot approve a condo. So if this is the only unit and you're interested in buying, they'll look at the books and see whether or not they will approve the unit. So condos townhouses are going to be much easier to get financed, which in Houston are probably the most affordable things out there in this marketplace. But I wanted to tell you about those new rule changes. My feature home of the week. You know, in the 29 years, I've maybe featured a rental unit once or twice in 29 years. Well, I've got a really good deal on one in the medical center. The property is located at 2425 Holly Hall, Unit 31. It has a one-car garage. It's on the first floor. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath for $1,095. Yes, $1,095. You're not going to be able to rent anything as nice as this unit with washer and dryer, with the garage for $1,095. You could walk to Reliant Stadium, so you tailgate and you just walk down to Reliant. It's a gated community. It's inside the loop. It's a great rental for those who are looking to rent something. You might want to give us a call at 713-667-1000. I wanted to also mention to my sponsors, we've got American Title with Charlene Clancy. I want to thank Charlene for continuing to be a sponsor with us. If you're looking to do title, give Charlene a call. We've also got Prosperity Bank. Prosperity, who has the UHOP loan, great loan. I say it's the best loan in Houston. I don't know where you can get, and we'll ask our guests later, where you can get a 600 credit score, no MI, and mortgage insurance, and you got a 600 credit score, and there's no down payment. I don't know any loan like that. Most of them, there are some banks doing no down payment, but you got to have a higher credit score. So those are our sponsors. If we're at your home, I want to thank you for watching Iconic TV on 15.10 Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. Then Sunday evening, we repeat at 8 p.m. Well, I've got a special. Would you believe that Iconic is now on Roku TV? So if you own Roku TV, you can watch this show on Iconic TV, 15.10 on Roku TV. It's a new breakthrough for them, for Iconic TV, and I want to thank Crystal, who helps us produce the TV show, and wanted to let everyone know that they are now on Roku. So all your favorite programs on Iconic TV will be on Roku TV also. The numbers here again are 281-837-2222. My name is Shad Bogany. I'm the host of this show. My guest here in the studio, before we go to my guest, I've got so much to talk about. Wanted to talk, and you guys are going to laugh about this, but I wanted to put this in perspective. I saw this out on my site today, and I thought, we need to talk about this. How about a latte a day keeps the home ownership away? Let me repeat that again. A latte a day keeps the home ownership away. For those who are buying latte at your favorite coffee shop, I just want to let you know, here's how much you need to save each day over the next 5 years to afford a down payment. If you live in Atlanta, 1.6 lattes a day over the next 5 years at $5.72 will keep you. If you're in Houston, 2 lattes, if you get away from that, over the next 5 years, you can save $14,000 if you got rid of 2 lattes. So if you live in Chicago, you need to take away 3 lattes, and that will help you up to $19,000 saved over 5 years. Miami, 3 lattes, once again, will help you save $19,000 over the next 5 years. And if you're in New York, wow, 7 lattes. 7 will help you save $45,000 a year. And we never put it in perspective. You know, it's kind of like sitting down writing a budget out. And when you really write how many times you go out on Friday night, you buying everybody drinks, or you going out to eat every night, and if you add that money up, and so this is what the latte day keeps a home ownership away. This is what I want to share with you, that in Houston, if you will get rid of 2 lattes a week, you will be able to save $14,000. Unbelievable, unbelievable. So I wanted to run that by you. The other thing I wanted to talk a little bit about, should you fix your house up and sell? I'm going to tell you always to fix your house up and sell. You analyze the market, you bring in a real estate professional, stay off of HGTV, call a real estate professional, somebody who's got some experience, and ask them what's better, buying or selling. The only way you can tell is looking at comparables that have sold in those houses, in those neighborhoods over the last 6 months. So analyze your market, change, remodel, declutter, all of those are going to play a place. Get an inspector. I tell people all the time, pre-inspect your home before you put it on the market. Find out what's wrong with it. Because in the contract it says that you have to have a licensed inspector, a licensed inspector. You need to have a licensed repair guy. But if you're a handyman and you inspect before and you can fix a plumbing leak or whatever, you can do that ahead of time. So get an inspector out. decide if you need to remodel. You never want to be the best house in the neighborhood. So some of those who got that ego telling you, I got to have the biggest house, you're going to always lose in value if you're the biggest house in the neighborhood. Actually, it's better to be in the best neighborhood in the small house because the big houses pull your value down just as the small houses pull the big houses' value down. So should you fix your house up or sell now? Those are the things. You're going to take a hit, guys. You're going to take a hit. If you decide to sell as is, you're paying for convenience. You want to get your house fixed up and put it on the market. Perfect time to sell, whenever you get ready to sell and you price it right. If you price it wrong, it ain't never a good time to sell. So we're going to get in with our guest here, Marla. Marla Lewis with Entourage Real Estate. And Marla, welcome to the Real Estate Corner.
Well, thank you, Shad. I'm glad to be here.
Well, you know, you had a great show. I want to thank you again publicly for inviting us on. And I just want to tell you, so happy to have you here and come on the Real Estate Corner and talk about what's happening. So we're going to get right into our show. Let's talk a little bit about your trip to Congressional Black Caucus. You just got back. Tell me a little bit about what's going on and what you saw there this year.
You know, Shad, it was very eye-opening. It was just an interesting experience. I attended a lot of the different panel sessions that they had there. One of the sessions in particular is where we were talking about investing into real estate. A lot of people don't understand, or for whatever reason still don't know that it's possible to invest in real estate. One of the alarming things that we talked about was the rate of home ownership for African Americans, which is at 40.6% right now. And that's lower than it was during the fair housing laws when they were passed back in 1968. And so that's one of the alarming things that really stood out while I was there. The panel sessions that I listened in on were really sessions about how we can get people to really understand how important homeownership is.
Why do you think they don't understand? Because, you know, when we look back at our history, redlining, wasn't giving us loans, wasn't letting us buy houses, they were putting us all in one spot. Okay, was wrong. But let's get past that now. Now you can live anywhere. Now you're making more money than you've ever made.
Yes.
You're more educated than you've ever been educated before. And so what do you see the real issue in our community? Because I can still see that we're probably being turned down more than other people, but is it really the bank issue? What are you seeing out there? And what were they saying on the panel about this?
Well, one of the things that they said on the panel, we talked about credit issues. A lot of many of times people have credit issues, and with those credit issues, instead of really allowing someone to help us and to dive into why our credit is the way that it is, or what we can do to get it where it needs to be, is embarrassing to a lot of people, or they just feel like they don't have hope. I actually was speaking with a young lady this week, and her husband he was okay with us pulling his credit, and she said, no, I just don't want anybody to see mine. But you touched on a part of it a few moments ago. You called it latte. I call it latte. Whether latte or latte.
I'm sorry. Obviously, I don't drink it. So. Okay, well, thank you.
Latte or latte. We have to buckle down, and we have to begin to spend where it's most important. And the other things we need to put to rest and begin to save. That's what we discussed on those panels.
And it seems as though we are so consumer oriented. We buy. I even look at myself. I probably buy more stuff than I should, even my own self. But I'm in a house, so you know we tend to put more value on cars, than we do on home ownership.
Absolutely.
And that bothers me. I was reading here in the 2019 State of Housing in Black America that if you were born between 1956 and 1965, you were a 50% of us were homeowners by age 50.
Absolutely.
But if you're black and you was born between 66 and 75, you're a little above 40% of home ownership, based on those ages that you were built, that you were born. And so, how do we change it? I mean, we talked about latte.
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about making those changes, but where do we start? I know the National Real Estate Brokers have got this initiative,
Yes.
and my hat's off to them. But how do we start making home ownership cool? Where we start making it, if you don't own a home, you should be embarrassed at this point in time.
Yes.
That's how we got to
Yes.
get to it, to make it. Oh, you're renting.
Yes.
Why? You know, I'll have clients who have decided they're never going to get a divorce. Well, I don't want to be with you, but I'm never going to divorce. They don't understand you can't buy a house unless you make that huge move.
Right.
But it seems to be much easier to just be separated and continue to rent. How do we change this sharecropper mentality?
Well, I believe that we can change
Okay.
it. I believe that we can change it, Shad, by educating people.
Hold your point. We've got a
Okay.
call on line one, and we're going to come back to you. Hi, you're on the air.
It's me. It's me, Mary Singleton.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. You got a question for us?
Well, I have a question. You was talking a couple of weeks to somebody named Jose from Prosperity Bank.
Uh-huh.
Y'all was saying the number so fast I couldn't even get the number down to call to get in contact with him.
Oh, okay. Let me give you Jose's number, and I'm going to do this. I'm not going to give you the 1-800 number. I'm going to give you his cell number. And Jose, I'm going to have him on this show.
Okay.
Let me give you. Got a pen?
I always keep a pen everywhere in the house.
832
Uh-huh.
419 1145.
What is it? 832
419 1145.
419 40. What you said? 40.
832
Okay, I got
419
82.
419 1145.
Okay. Okay.
And give him a call. Tell him you heard about him on the Real Estate Corner.
Yeah. What's your name? Because you said your name so fast I couldn't even.
Shad. That's S-H-A-D.
I have a nephew named Chad.
Oh, wow. It's not many of us.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right.
thank you so much, and I appreciate you listening to the show.
Yes, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you.
Amen. Hello. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Thank you, Ms. Singleton, for calling in. I'm sorry, can you hold your point? You're younger than me, so you should be able to hold your point.
I got it.
I
I
can't.
got it. No, it's so important, Shad. I have it. We have to begin educating people and really showing them how to make their money work for them, how they can build wealth through real estate. Many of them don't really understand. I mean, you can talk to them and they'll shake their head, yeah. They really don't understand that, the equity position of it. When you rent in an apartment complex, you've lived there 5 years, you're ready to move, they tell you bye-bye, see you later. When you're in a home, if you've lived there 5 years, you're ready to move. I mean, you get something out of that. You can move up. You can, there are different things.
You can convert that equity to some net worth, sending your kid to school.
Absolutely.
You can go and prove and take the equity, go buy a rent property and start your investing side of things.
Absolutely.
So we've got to make it cool, and home ownership should be cool, but you got to pick the right people to work with.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about your company
Uh-huh.
and where you're located and how people can get in touch with you.
Okay, I'm located in the Clear Lake area, and you can get in touch with me. You can always go to my website at www.entouragerealtors.com. That's www.entourage with an S.com, or you can call me at 832-868-6091. Again, that's 832-868-6091.
We're talking with Marla Lewis. Marla's here with us on the Real Estate Corner, and you're on 15.10 Iconic TV, and if you're just tuning in, you're on 1360 AM and 96.9 FM, and we're here talking about real estate. All our lines are open. Give us a call. We love to answer your questions. We're going to give you an honest answer. And with the experience between Marla and myself, we should be able to answer any question that you may have or give you the real deal. And that's what we try to do. There's no fluff on this show. If you've been listening to me over the last 29 years, you know I'm not a fluff guy. I'm going to tell you the way it is if I think you're going out. And that's why I'm saying we should be embarrassed that 60% of us are renting homes versus the 40% that own. And so that doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. Something that I was reading, the 2019 State of Housing Black America, Marla, it said that the housing gap is larger now than it was in 1934, when it was redlining, when we couldn't live at certain places,
Yes.
when we had all the issues, the racial issues, everything that was going on. We could only live in one part of the city.
Yes.
The home ownership was greater then in 1934 than it is in 2019. God, is something wrong with this? Something's wrong.
There's definitely something wrong. But that goes back to that education piece, Shad. I mean, we are putting our money into things that depreciate versus things that appreciate.
Okay.
And if you ask a lot of people, they don't even know what you mean by saying something like that. It comes a time where you have to buckle down and you have to say, you know, what am I going to be able to leave my children, or what am I going to be able to pull money out of? If I get in a tough situation, home ownership provides so many different things. If you're in a tough situation and you need $10,000, well, where do you get that money from? A lot of people, you know, they're spending so and renting so long. You have that money. And another thing that people don't realize, people say, well, you know, I don't want a mortgage. You're paying a mortgage.
Somebody else's mortgage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're doing it. You're building a network for someone else. So for those who are listening to Marla and I want to put this and want to take it to a deeper perspective. The average rent in Houston now is somewhere around about $1,700 a month for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. If you're renting a condo, it could be anywhere about $1,300, $1,400. But I'm going to put it in perspective, and I'm going to use a figure of $1,500 if you're renting a house. And so if you rent it for 3 years, you've just now spent $54,000 for a house. Just putting it in just simple numbers, $1,500.
Gosh.
And you spent, in 3 years, you've given $54,000 away. Where's that latte, right? Where's that latte at? So it makes no sense for us to be doing this.
Oh my
and I
gosh.
think, Marla, for us to change it, the minority newspapers should be advertising home ownership.
Absolutely.
They should be looking out for people who can fix carpet, all the different things in the fix carpet, handyman. They should be going out looking for carpet cleaning, carpenters, plumbers. They should be looking for that sort of advertising instead of advertising cars. Just my thought. I know cars pay more, but if you can get a directory of all these trade people, you can do some things. Secondly, the radio stations that we listen to, hip hop, pop, whatever, constantly should be talking about home ownership. I'd love for a rapper to make a song about home ownership. Just make a song
Oh
about
my
home
gosh.
Clip a little pop, everything going. Let Cardi B do a home ownership. Let Cardi B talk about how good it is to have a bedroom that you own at your
Well,
house.
let me tell you this. You ask about my visit to the Congressional Black Caucus. Well, the rapper Waka Flocka was there.
Okay.
He was on one of the panels, and guess what he talked about? Investing in real estate.
Wow.
He talked about how he makes his money work for him, investing in real estate.
And he's on the hip hop of something.
Yes.
Not that
One
I
of the
watched
shows,
that.
right.
I just flipping the channel and saw him on there with his hair all like this, but I just saw him. So Waka Flocka
Yes.
is see, that's why
Yes.
everybody should get an opportunity to go to the Congressional Black Caucus. It is unbelievable of the like minds that are there,
Yes.
and the young people there who are absorbing all this, and it's crazy. If you've never been, it's just unbelievable to see an event like that and get to meet and shake hands of all these stars, people here talking about how we're going to change it in our black community. And it starts in my opinion, starts in home ownership. And this is what the Real Estate Corner is all about. It's talking about it. So the National Association of Brokers, NARAB, real estate brokers, and I'm sorry, I'm having some senior moments here.
That's okay.
As you're watching me here on TV, I'm having a senior moment. What is the initiative that we are planning? Because I'm a member of that organization too.
Yes.
What are we planning to do to try to curb this? We talk about food desert, but I call it housing desert in our community.
Absolutely, and it is. What the National Association of Real Estate Brokers have come up with, our national president, Donnell Williams, have come up with housethenthecar.com, meaning you can still get the Escalade or the Land Rover, whatever it is that you choose to drive, you can get that, but why not get that after you have purchased a home, after you have investment property in your portfolio, after, all those different things so that you can start building wealth for yourself. That is going to be coming out in
what's the
October.
website?
House, www.housethenthecar.com.
Okay. You guys have heard it here on the Real Estate Corner, www.housethenthecar.com. And it is amazing. And this has been always my theory for those who've been listening to me a while. The whole world sees you in that Escalade, but only your next door neighbors see where you live. And I can't think of anything worse than having an Escalade or a Land Rover or a BMW, any of those expensive cars, or Tesla for those millenniums, and you're driving up in an apartment. I just can't.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me. And it's coming from a person who bought their first house when I was 18. And I was driving a 1970 Plymouth Fury. They used to call it in college the big black Galactica. And so I was driving that car, but I had already bought my first house. And so it's okay to have home ownership. And if you don't want responsibilities, and I say guys and girls, if you don't want responsibility, then buy your condo or townhouse.
Yes.
If your lifestyle dictates a certain way. Now, I'm getting a lot of calls. I don't know, Marla, if you're getting these calls. People are calling about buying duplexes and fourplexes, and they wanting to live in one. Houston is not a fourplex, duplex city. It just isn't. And have you seen it?
Yes, I have. Actually, my son who invests, my eldest son, is looking for a fourplex, and it's hard.
It is very, very
tough.
hard. It's tough. It's tough to do it because we're not like Pittsburgh, or we're not like New York or Cincinnati or some of these other cities in the north. We just are not like that here. And I think a lot of it because we've always had so much land.
But here's another thing that I want to point out, Shad. And that is many times with a condo or with a townhome, I will hear people say, well, that's apartment living. I don't want to live, like that. I don't want to buy a condo, but you're living in an apartment anyway.
Right. It's a lifestyle.
So if you're going to live in that apartment for 7 years anyway.
What did I just say?
Live in your condo.
$54,000.
Yes. Live in your condo anyway.
if you're paying $2,000 a month for a house to rent. Yeah, some of you are doing that. That's $48,000 in 2 years you're giving away. It makes no sense. We got to take a quick break. My name is Shad Bargany. My guest in here is Marla Lewis with Entourage Real Estate. We're talking about real estate. And guys, I know some of you are tired of hearing me talk about the discrepancy in net worth between us and other people, but we've got to change this. We really got to change this. And so the numbers here are 281-837-2222. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with the Real Estate Corner here with Marla Lewis with Entourage Real Estate. And when she comes back, she's going to tell you how you can listen to her show and what time you can catch it also. Be right back with the Real Estate Corner. Thinking about buying or selling, real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Get survey, put a home on the market, review the net sheets, taxes, advice on financing, homestead exemptions, advice on insurance, what kind of mortgage, inspections, considering offers, negotiations, submitting an offer, how good are the schools, down payment assistance, title insurance, home warranties, closing costs, final walkthrough. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call, Shad Bargany. Well, welcome back to the Real Estate Corner. My name is Shad Bargany. Here in the studio with me, I have Marla Lewis with Entourage Real Estate. I'm the host of the Real Estate Corner. I like to tell people all the time, I'm the granddaddy of them all. We've been on the air 29 years telling people what to do and what not to do when it comes to real estate. We've got a caller on line one for Marla and myself. Hey, you're on the air.
Yes, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for listening.
Yes, I'm in my car listening, and I've been thinking about calling you for quite a while, but I live in a home out in South Park, like off Griggs and MLK, and I've been here 37 years.
Oh, wow.
And I have a lot of issues going on, and I had signed up for the Hard Feet program, and so I don't know whether to fix my house or let them fix my home or tear down and rebuild. My home is like 13 rooms. I have a real big house.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know which way to go, whether I should fix it up or should I allow them to remodel it or tear it down.
So you qualify for that program that allows you to remodel the house?
Huh?
You qualify for the program that allows them to remodel your house?
Well, I guess it's so big, and I think over here they are tearing down homes, and they suggested they would build me a new house.
Okay. Well, let me
think about that.
Let me give you my thoughts. First thing I would do is have a real estate professional come out and give you a look at your house and tell you what they think in regards. Based on where you're living at and me knowing that area, your land is probably worth more than the house. But what I tell you is that it costs more to remodel per square foot than it is to tear it down and just build brand new. It's cheaper to build brand new, but it just depends on the situation and what's wrong with the house. So what I would suggest you do is give us a call at 713-667-1000. Doesn't cost you anything. I'll come out and give you an assessment of it, of what I think. But based on that area, I used to live in that area, so I'm familiar with where home prices are. You probably got a nice piece of property, and if you don't need a house that big, you can probably cut it down in square footage, but you're going to get in a new home more energy efficiency. You're going to get the home value is going to be tremendous there because your cost is probably more in the land. So I'm going to tell you that it really depends on your lifestyle.
You said you would come out?
Yeah, I'll come out. If you call me off the air at 713-667-1000, I'll give you an honest opinion. But if you
Let me get your number again.
713-667-1000.
713-667-1000.
Yes, ma'am. And if you give me a call, I'll come out. Doesn't cost you anything. Call me. You can leave your address with Jermaine, the producer of the radio show, and Jermaine will get that over to me, and then give me a call tomorrow, and we can set up an appointment. I'll come out and I'll give you an honest answer. Marla, what do you think she should do?
Everything that you just said that she should do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought about you, and I said I'm gonna call him and ask. I mean, if you charge anything to come out, so
No,
you
ma'am.
can, kind of help me know which way to go here.
I'm not gonna charge you anything. I'll give you my advice. If you decide that you want to sell, please give us a call. But I'm gonna give you an honest opinion and just tell you what I would do if I was in your situation.
Okay, that's what I want, so I can kind of move to the next level and doing something or another.
All right. Is it free and clear? I'm assuming it's free and clear.
Yes, it's been paid for since like 2004.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
I have a lot of work that needs to be done, and I need to do something, and I've been waiting on the city of Houston for quite a while.
Okay.
But
Can I ask you your age?
Going,
Can I ask you your age?
huh?
Can I ask you your age if you don't mind?
Yeah, I'm 71.
71. So you got your exemption for taxes on it, over 65 exemption. If you decided you wanted to do a reverse mortgage, you have that ability to do that. And so for those who are listening to this show, this is a perfect example of someone who's paid their house off, got all that equity in the home, and now she can make a decision on what she's going to do. But if you've been renting for 37 years, it's no decisions at all. So please give me a call, ma'am, and I appreciate you listening to the show.
I will, and thank you so much.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. The numbers again are 281-837-2222, 281-837-2222. Give us a call. We're here in the studio. Marla, tell us about your radio show.
My radio show is called Mondays with Marla. I'm on every Monday from 3 to 4 p.m. And the station that it's on is an AM station, Business Talk, 1110 a.m. That's KTEK.
All right.
And they can listen to the show.
All righty. And you can have Mondays with Marla and then have Tuesdays with Shad in the evening.
That's right.
So we can do this. So, guys, the more knowledge you have, the better decisions you make. And I'm just going to share this with you. It's really, really important. And so also the thing I want to share with you, there's a lot of scams going out there right now. I was reading something the other day about back taxes. People are paying back taxes for people and then taking their houses and they think they're helping them out.
Yes.
But nobody does anything for free. No one's doing anything. And you're signing papers. If you're doing this without a professional, at least get an attorney. Get somebody, let me correct this. Get a real estate attorney. Somebody who deals with this all the time to be able to answer your questions and so you can talk and get things done. All I can tell you that if I come out, and I'm sure Marla's the same way, my goal is that if you decide to do something, you use me. But most importantly, I don't want you to make a mistake with the biggest asset that you have. And so, that is why we're here. That's why we talk about real estate on this show and Marla's show. The numbers again, 281-837-2222. That's 281-837-2222. I want to thank you on Iconic TV for those who are allowing us to come in your homes and talk about real estate. You can also catch us on our YouTube channel. We need you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's called The Real Estate Corner. And all our shows are there. Now that Iconic TV is on Roku TV, we're going to encourage you, get your Roku. It's very similar. For those who don't know, it's like the Fire Stick, it's like Apple TV, it's Roku. And it's a great opportunity for us to be on Roku with Iconic. And so I just want you to know to watch those, go out, sign up, put us on, and we're there for you. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. Marla, so we've got house,
Then the
car.com. And I know I've been kind of harsh. Some of you driving in your Escalades and your your Cadillacs and BMWs and your Range Rovers who are sitting in traffic listening to me, he's just jealous. He's just jealous. No, I don't drive one of those at all. My car has 400,000 miles on it. So the car in the parking lot. So I don't drive one of those, but I do understand how other people build wealth. And it's through home ownership,
Yes.
and it is not through buying a car.
I was gonna say, Shad, it needs to be said though. Okay. And again, it's not that you cannot have those type of vehicles. Get it after you start building wealth. Get it after. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm going to tell you a quick little scenario. I was up in Austin one day, and I was up in they call it Catskills, right up in the Austin area where the Lake Travis Hills and all the houses are off the cliffs and stuff. So I decided, I was up there for a meeting, I decided I had some time, let me drive through this community because all you see is the back of the houses, and I wanted to see what they looked in front. And as I drove through, most of the people had their garages up, and what I was noticing what they were driving, Hondas, Hyundais, small cars. I don't.
Prius.
Prius. I'm sure somebody had a Land Rover, and I'm sure somebody had a Cadillac.
Yeah.
But I didn't see any of them. Everybody had their garages up, and I'm like, this is how they can afford to live off the cliff and overlook Lake Travis.
Absolutely.
In their backyard. They redirected their money into an appreciating asset versus a depreciating asset. What are your thoughts of the person, because I know you've had this phone call.
Okay.
The person says, Marlon, I'm okay with renting, but I want to buy my first investment property. What do you tell that individual? You've had that phone call, haven't you?
I have had that phone call, Shad, and they've gone one of two ways. The first person, I was able to get them to buy a property for themselves. And then, okay, it's still considered an investment property.
Right.
You live there 2 years, let's move you into something else. The other way that went was they said, well, you know, I really like my luxury apartment. Marla, I really like it. But I do want to go ahead and get investment property. And that's exactly what they did. And they're building their portfolio that way because they want to, I guess, have a luxury apartment lifestyle. Doesn't make sense to me. But for me, I think that what I try to coach people into doing is go ahead, even if you live there 2 years, go ahead and begin building your portfolio that way and get you a few investment properties. What do you think, Shad?
I agree with you. I think that I think you should personally get your first place first and then turn that into an investment property, live there a little bit, and then turn that into an investment property. Because there is a difference in the neighborhood when you're in a renting neighborhood and a home ownership neighborhood.
Yes.
Or you're in a condo that most people own their condos versus one where most of them are being rented. There is a difference there. You know, you see paper on the ground in the renters, but you don't normally see that where most of them are homeowners because somebody is going to pick it up because they understand that that's about building wealth.
Right.
And it's about, I need my values to go up. The other thing, Marla, that I've been harping on, and I know some of you guys who are sitting at home on Saturday morning or Sunday night watching me, or you're in your car in traffic, you're tired of me talking about the schools. The schools are monumental to home ownership and driving your value. So even if you don't have any kids in school, you should be concerned with your local elementary, your local junior high, and your local high school. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
All right. Tell us from your experience that a home we'll take Clear Lake, for example. One area, the schools are rated real high.
Yes.
What's the difference between the value with the neighborhood where the schools are so-so?
Oh, man, you're talking about sometimes a $20,000 difference just because of the schools. You're looking at families that are looking to lease from you as an investor because you have started, your portfolio. You're looking at families that are wanting to come in and to lease from you simply because of the schools.
Good. We got to take a station ID break and be right back with the Real Estate Corner. Thinking about buying or selling, real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Get survey, put a home on the market, review the net sheets, taxes, advice on financing, homestead exemptions, advice on insurance, what kind of mortgage, inspections, considering offers, negotiations, submitting an offer, how good are the schools, down payment assistance, title insurance, home warranties, closing costs, final walkthrough. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call, Shad Bogany. Well, welcome back to the Real Estate Corner. I'm your host, Shad Bogany. You're listening to us on KWWJ 1360. And we're here in the studio with Marla Lewis. So Marla, I've been stressing the schools because one of the things I noticed when I went and looked at all the schools, when I did my school report, all the schools in predominantly minority schools, they all have low grades. There are a few exceptions, but the majority of them, I would say 90% of them, all are either in the D's or F's. And then when you go and look at property values in those areas, the property values are lower. You want to be in a school that you want to have your house where anybody would buy it. And what drives most people in communities is the schools because they have the kids. I'll give you an example. I live out in First Colony, and there's a neighborhood called Chimney Stone. And houses are probably 1,100 square feet. If you can get something in that neighborhood for $200,000, you're doing well because the schools are zoned to Clemens and they're zoned to First Colony Middle School. Now you take that same 1,100 square foot house and you put over off of 2234, you're probably talking 110.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
and it's all based on the schools.
Absolutely.
So we've got to understand the game, and that's what we try to do here on the Real Estate Corner. That's what Marla tries to do, is educate you on the game. We're going to take another quick break. I wanted to bring up our other sponsor, American Title, 5802 Val Verde. There are a lot of American titles, but I use Charlene Clancy, where service is most important. She does an awesome job. She's got a great team. She's got Ron. She's got Eric. They do a great job over at American Title at 5802 Val Verde. Give Charlene a call. Her number is 713-784-0006. Now, guys, the interest rates have just dropped a little bit, so I've been getting calls about refinancing. Shad, what should I do? Well, you get to pick your title company. Call Charlene Clancy and let her work with you at 5802 Val Verde at 713-784-0006. That's 713-784-0006, and tell her you heard it on the Real Estate Corner. So we've talked about schools, we've talked about the education part of it, Marla, on how we need to be educated. How do we catch these millenniums, who are the most people who are going to be buying the most homes in the upcoming years, the millenniums? How do we catch them coming out of college before they get hit with all those credit cards, ton of school debt? And I know, and it's just me, a lot of these kids live off this student loan debt. So they kind of put themselves in that position. Boy, it'd be great to take some of that student loan debt and go buy a house with it.
Yes. Yes.
And so take some of that. That's a different perspective. But what would you say to a senior coming out of college who just graduated, just got his job, and what would you suggest that they do if they're a senior in college and they start getting all these credit cards and stuff? What should they be doing?
I suggest that they don't do that. I suggest that they contact a professional. And many times they don't realize it, but there are loans out there that will count your schooling once you start working as a part of your working. You know, typically they say you have to be in the same field for 2 years, but they'll count that schooling. So you can get started right away. And that's what a lot of us don't realize, is that you can get started right away. It's not far-fetched. Go ahead, make your student loan payments, but you can still buy. But Shad, I wanted to bring up a very important point, and that is, I think a lot of it starts with the parents. If the parents are, we coach our kids in everything. We put our kids in sports. We, little league football and baseball and all that. We coach them on how to play the game. You have to coach them towards home ownership as well.
Coach them how to play the money game.
You do, absolutely.
But it's hard to learn how to play the money game if you rent and it's like somebody tells you not to smoke and you don't smoke, don't do what I say, don't do as I'm doing, do what I say.
Yes.
It's hard to do that. But kids learn
Yes.
by watching their parents.
Absolutely.
And it's a silent watch that they're watching. They don't say anything to you, but in very similar, and this is kind of crude, but I'm going to say it. If you watch your parents fighting all the time and you get in a relationship, you think that's normal. If you see your dad hit your mom or your mom hit your dad, you think that's normal.
Right.
And so we've got, as you said, we've got to start coaching them
Yes.
that home ownership is the way to go. I've gotten older. I can't do it, but I can teach you to do it, because what we all hope as parents, including myself, and I'm sure Marla has children, that our kids do better than we do.
Yes.
That is the
That's
goal.
the point that I was getting to.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if they do better than we've done our job. If they're doing worse than we are, then we have not done a really, really good job. And I know it's hard. I know it is. I've had Marla, I have plenty of real estate stories when you've been doing it as long as I have. I one day was driving along and I had two parents arguing back in the back seat about the kids cutting the yard. Dad saying the kid's gonna cut the yard, mother saying it's too hot out there, and my kids are not gonna be cutting anybody's yard. That is the
Yes.
thing that's going on in that household, that we don't understand, that you can pay somebody to cut the yard, but you're teaching them how to take care of a yard.
Exactly.
Okay, so teaching. I remember my dad used to make me cut the
Yes.
yard, and I hated it.
Yes.
But I didn't know till later that it was a teaching experience. When he would be sitting on that porch, I'm out there in the sun pushing that mower, and it wasn't a self-propel, it was a push mower, and I was sitting there and he drinking the tea, and he wouldn't even offer me any. But I
he
really
knew how to do it.
Yeah, he was teaching me a learning experience and building character.
Yes.
And I didn't understand it then. So that gets back to what you're saying. We've got to start coaching our kids early and letting them know that you will own your first home. You will save your money. And you live here until you save your money.
Yes.
And then you go and buy a house.
Yes.
And so whether it's a condo or a house, you buy it and you stay there. The other thing I wanted to reach out to you, and I don't know if you've been experiencing it, the other people in the community seemed okay with living in the urban life now. They understand how important. So when I see somebody that looks like me and I mention to them, why don't you go live in independent house? I don't want to live over there. I don't want to live over there. It's ghetto. I don't want to live in the ghetto. I don't want to live in the bottom of the third ward. It's the ghetto. No, I don't want to live. I need to live out in the suburbs. And the other kids are understanding.
They're calling me.
Yeah, saying,
Yes.
do you have something inner city?
Absolutely.
And it's not people that look like us.
No.
It's that they are seeing it, and because their parents have told them, you buy close in, you got the job, the downtown,
Yes.
the rail system, everything is there. But the moment I mention it, no, I want to be out in the suburb. I want to be in Pearland. I want to be out in Missouri City, or as the mayor says, the lands. But it's better to go buying city gas for $125,
Yes.
buy one of those new homes that they've got out there, and turn around and change the marketplace, because you're going to get your equity growth
Yes.
inside the loop quicker. Not to say that you're not going to get equity growth outside, but what I'm sharing with you, the home is going to go up in value quicker inside than versus outside.
But that's once you understand how it works
Okay.
and how you have your money working for you, most importantly. That's when you understand that. And that's what I mean about that education piece, Shad. That's what I mean about people really looking beyond what they see. People looking beyond, oh, you know what? Can't afford a house, I'll go and buy a latte. today.
Yeah.
People, when you start looking beyond that,
2 lattes,
yes.
daily savings of $7.90. If you get rid of them, that's $14,000 in 5 years.
When you start looking beyond that, and you know that, you know what, I have a very good example. When me and my husband first got married, my mom told us, she said, you know, you guys should buy a house. I said, well, we can't really afford what we want. My mother said, most people on the planet cannot afford what they want. She said, you should go ahead, buy something, sell it, move up. That's the way that you're going to get your money working for you. And she's absolutely right. I have a beautiful home now. Is it really what I want? No. I probably want to be, you know, on the Bahamas somewhere.
Want that beach property, right? That cabin over the water.
I still can't afford absolutely what I want. But, you know, it's understanding that money game.
Well, we live in a microwave society.
Yes.
Where we want it now and we want all we can get. But it's really, for success, it's patience. Patience is the essence of success. So if we take our time and we work our way up till we get what we want, or we roll the equity and we keep rolling the equity till we get, that's how they do it. I will tell you that most people who do own a home that look like me and you, most of them have been there 20, 30 years, 15 years. The other community seems to roll out of there every 7 years. They out of there. The moment they seem to know how to play the game and when it's
money
work for themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Marla, tell them how they can listen to you again on your show.
You can listen to Mondays with Marla on Business Talk. That's 11:10 a.m. KTEK is the radio station. You can also go to my website at www.entouragerealtors.com.
And what's your office number?
832-868-6091. That's 832-868-6091.
Guys, I have the book here, and it's called The State. For those who are watching us at home, it's called the 2019 State of Housing in Black Houston. If you send me your email, I will send you a link to it, and you can print it out. Now, I'm not going to print it out and mail it to you, but I will send you the link. And you probably won't be able to find this anywhere unless you with a NARAB member or Houston Black Real Estate Association. So here's the book. Those at home, you see it. And there's so much information in here, guys, so much information. You know, I talked about even the populations where we are the majority population in a city, we're still below home ownership. That's how bad it has gotten. Yeah,
yes.
It's gotten, and I'll tell you something that's really funny. If you live in Mississippi or Alabama, home ownership is higher there, and they're the two of the poorest states that is, but the home ownership is high. Because they've learned to pass this stuff down.
That's right.
And so we've got to change it, and we've got to make it work for ourselves. Marla, what else would you like our consumers to know? You know, I've talked about wheels on this show. What are your thoughts on wheels? We seem to, even when we have property, we don't know how to convey it correctly.
I would say definitely get with a professional. And don't wait until it's too late. Go ahead and take care of those things up front. Get your family on the same page up front. Take care of business. That's what I would say.
Sit down with them.
Yes.
And you discuss it and say, this is what we're going to be doing. This is how I'm going to do things. And then the second thing, if you've had changes in your life, go and sit down and look at your will, look at your life insurance policies, and make sure you make those changes. You know, and the other thing, and I'm sure Marla would agree with me, people ask me all the time, my note just went up. Guys, you need to look at your taxes and you need to look at your insurance every year. When you get those love notes in April, open them up. Don't think that's the value of your house. You want that as low as possible. You love your insurance agent. You just like them big box insurance companies. Well, they ripping you off when it comes to homeowner insurance because if you want the right policy, they're going to charge you. But there are other companies that can do it. Don't get caught up into the brand name.
You can't get caught up into the brand name.
You can't.
You want to make sure, again, get a professional. If you're sick, you would get a professional.
You're not going to try to pull your teeth out yourself.
You're not.
Your tooth, I'm sorry.
You're not. So don't try to figure these things out yourself. There are professionals that have been in the business. Like Shad said, he's been in the business. He's been doing this show for 29 years.
Yeah, just a show.
And I mean, but in business, even a lot longer. So there are a lot of things that people know that you don't have to figure out.
Right. Guys, I want to thank you. I just got a beep from Jermaine that we're over our time, but I've had such a great time with Marla Lewis here in the studio with us, and I want to thank Jermaine for producing the show back at KWWJ. I want to thank Crystal Holmes for doing it for Iconic TV. Guys, you can catch this show on the Real Estate Corner YouTube channel. Thank you so much, and once again, thank you for listening to the Real Estate Corner, and tell somebody about the show. Be back next week on the Real Estate Corner. Thinking about buying or selling, real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Get survey, put a home on the market, review the net sheets, taxes, advice on financing, homestead exemptions, advice on insurance, what kind of mortgage, inspections, considering offers, negotiations, submitting an offer, how good are the schools, down payment assistance, title insurance, home warranties, closing costs, final walkthrough. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call, Shad Bargaining.